Another year, another Pokemon Day that approaches. So naturally, we got to talk about what we think is going to be announced. And right off the bat, I think it's good to set your expectations extremely low, just so that on the off chance they do announce something that's really impressive, we can actually be excited about it. We've been burned way too many times in the past from just standard Pokemon presents that happen throughout the year, and Pokemon Days are a very hit and miss kind of presentation. I would say personally 20-25% of the time there's something worth talking about and getting excited over, and then the other 75% is usually just like a wasted presentation. But alas, let's jump into it and let's predict what we think is going to happen during this new Pokemon Presents 2024. I believe last year I made a similar video for Pokemon Day 2023, and I remember when making those predictions, I kind of just looked at the previous year and try to, come up with predictions based off of what they really showed back then. And for this year, I kind of did the same thing. I just kind of glanced over what was revealed last year, and I think they're going to hit more or less the same notes for this. It's going to start off the same exact way as it always does. They're going to do this little montage of Pokemon. It's either going to be a young kid playing on his Game Boy Color, the first Pokemon Red or Blue, and progressively gets older and gets the Gold and Silver version, and then gets the Ruby and Sapphire, and then Diamond and Pearl, and so on and so forth until it gets to present day where we have Scarlet and Violet. It's either going to be something like that, or they're going to do some other kind of montage amongst just Pokemon in general, how it's come so far. It's been 28 years since the first games came out. Moving past that, we're going to jump into the mobile games. There's going to be a mobile game roundup. So they're going to talk about Pokemon Masters EX. They're going to talk about Pokemon Cafe Remix. They're going to talk about Pokemon Go, Pokemon Sleep. What else am I missing? Pokemon Unite. They're going to talk about all those games very briefly, talk about any in-game events or things going on. And for the most part, I think it's just going to be, at best, it's going to be like, okay, that's cool. The only mobile game that I still play actively is Pokemon Go, and it's really like very light play sessions that I have. I like log on, do my daily catches, spin my Pokemon stops. I live near a gym, so I just, put Pokemon in the gym just to get the coins, and then that's about it. Unless community day is going on and the weather's nice out, I'll play a little bit more of that. So that's, I feel like, very safe bet. That's definitely going to be happening because it happens on every single Pokemon Presents. Something that it's a little bit maybe more outlandish, I think they might talk about the Pokemon amusement park section that's going to be in Universal. At least I think there is. I don't know if it's been rumored or if it's actually happening, but I think it'd be cool if they, bring that up and maybe just talk about it for a couple of minutes. I don't know how in depth they would go into this, but maybe they would kind of talk about ideas or maybe even a prototype of a ride that they plan to build in that park. This is all assuming this is even happening. For some reason, I feel like I read that or heard that somewhere before, that on top of Super Nintendo World, they have Mario and they're building out the Donkey Kong section. I think I read somewhere that in California they're doing like a Zelda land and Pokemon. Anyways, I think they might bring that up. It'd be really cool if they did, just to kind of give us a little bit of a glimpse into what's really going on. I also think they're going to talk about any future Netflix projects. So as of this recording, they just announced that Pokemon Concierge got renewed for season 2, which is great because that show is this wholesome as hell, and it really needs like 10 seasons, so I hope it just never stops coming out with content. But yeah, I think they might talk about that show and maybe even a new show. I want to have a mini series akin to Pokemon Origins, I believe it was called, and this came out years ago. I think around the time Pokemon X and Y were coming out, so I guess 2013. Wow, that's a long time ago. But yeah, like Pokemon Origins was like a 4-episode miniseries that I think they released on YouTube. But it was great. It was just kind of recapping the games, Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. It'd be really cool if they did something similar to Pokemon Generations, and maybe did it for the other gens, like you know, Gen 2, Gen 3. I think it'd be really neat. That's really kind of far-fetched. See what I did there? Far-fetched prediction. I don't think it's gonna happen, but you never know. So now we're getting into predictions that are almost borderline hopes of mine. Especially as I go further into it, you'll understand fully why it's more of a hope and not realistic at all. They do need to still release Pokemon Pinball on the Game Boy Nintendo Switch Online service, which was announced a while ago. So that's one of the few Game Boy games that still have yet to come out on that service. So that would be a good game to be released. And I don't know if this was revealed or if it's maybe possible to come down the line, but Pokemon Pinball on the GBA as well, so the Ruby and Sapphire version. So basically both Pokemon Pinball games on the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance would be great if they can be revealed at this presentation or at the very least given release dates. That's possible to happen. I mean, if it doesn't happen during this presentation, it's gonna happen maybe in the next few months. But I really hope that we end up getting Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow on Nintendo Switch Online. And I've spoken about this once or twice before in my previous videos. I really need this to come out because I've just been itching to play those older classics. And I'm gonna kind of bring this back around because I realized I missed probably one of the biggest talking points of this whole presentation. One of the biggest predictions essentially is that there is going to be some sort of new Pokemon game announced in this presentation. It's definitely not Generation 10, hands down. I don't think it's gonna be Gen 5 remakes. I feel like it's way too soon for that. It's gonna be some sort of spin-off game, whether it's a brand new IP, kind of in the same realm as, you know, Pokemon Snap or Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, something like that. Or they go ahead and they reveal Let's Go Johto. So Pokemon Let's Go, this now it's basically remakes of Gold and Silver. And considering the recent, I guess, leaks, or I'm not even sure, not really leaks, but people found that the little video that announced that there's going to be a Pokemon Presents coming is tagged to Pokemon Gold and Silver on YouTube or something as like the game that it's talking about. I'm actually not sure, but it's somehow connected to Gold and Silver from what I heard. So that kind of, you know, backs up this prediction a little bit more that it could be a Let's Go remake of, you know, Gold and Silver, which is fine, but I don't really want a Let's Go version. I would rather have like a very faithful remake, or even a step further, remake Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver in an HD 2D style, so kind of like Octopath Traveler or Triangle Strategy, something along the lines of that. That's definitely not going to happen. That's not really a prediction, that's more of a hope of mine, but it looks like there's going to be some sort of Gold and Silver remake coming. And whether that's in the form of Let's Go or possibly, very unlikely, coming out to NSO, we'll have to wait and see. And the last possible game that could be, the big reveal is a Legends sequel. So, we had Pokemon Legends Arceus for Gen 4. I think it's possible that they could do like a Legends Kyurem for Gen 5, although I still feel like it's too early to do Gen 5 at this point. My bets are that it's going to be Let's Go, Gold and Silver, whoever the mascot Pokemon are. I think Togepi and Wooper are like what's trending on Twitter right now. And it might be those two. But we'll see. If this kind of plays out the way that I just spoke about and it does end up being a Let's Go sequel, I guess it's going to be fine. I'm probably going to get it because Gold and Silver are one of my favorite games from Pokemon, but it's not exactly what I wanted, and I don't think I'm the only one in that camp. But those are my predictions for this Pokemon Day 2024. Let me know in the comments down below what you're hoping for in this presentation. Let me know if any of our predictions kind of align, if our hopes align in any way. And lastly, if you guys like this video, drop a like if you want. Really would appreciate it. It helped the channel grow quite a lot. I'm hoping to get back into drawing a little bit more and possibly streaming my drawings going forward, just so I can kind of stay connected with the community a little bit more, build it up that way, and you guys can kind of see the process firsthand. So again, thanks for watching everyone, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.